All right, today we are diving deep into the life cycle of a Navy SEAL. We're getting a raw first-hand account from former SEAL Sean Ryan. We're gonna follow his entire journey, from the unbelievable crucible of training, through the intense reality of combat, and then into the fight that so many people never see, the battle that starts the moment you come home.
And that quote from Sean Ryan himself, well, it sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? It's blunt, it's real, and it cuts right to the heart of the mindset you need to even think about starting this journey.
So how exactly is a Navy SEAL made? Our first section here is all about that trial by fire, a process so brutal its entire purpose is basically to find your breaking point and then push you past it.
For Sean Ryan, the reason he pushed through wasn't some dream of fame or glory. He called himself a troublemaker, not some star athlete or a straight-A student. The one thing that kept him going was the fear of letting his dad down and his burning desire to prove to everyone and himself that he was more than they thought.
This is the infamous gateway, Bud/S. And let's be clear, its purpose is not to build you up. Oh no, it is a filtration system designed to break you down to your absolute core to see what's left. It tests your body, your mind, and your ability to be a teammate when you have absolutely nothing left in the tank.
At the very heart of Buds is Hell Week. We're talking 5 straight days and nights of no sleep and just constant, bone-chilling cold. But the misery is an exact science. The instructors have this cycle down. Get you soaking wet and sandy, which rubs your skin completely raw. And then, just when it starts to dry, they send you right back into the salt water. It's pure, relentless psychological warfare.
And the results of this whole process? They're just staggering. A class can start with 250 guys, but after Hell Week, you'll see this long line of helmets, over 100 of them. Each one was placed there by a man who decided he'd had enough and rang the bell. The washout rate is it's massive.
Now, if you think surviving Hell Week means it gets easier, you'd be wrong. It just gets more technical and, frankly, more terrifying. Dive phase isn't just about swimming. It's mastering complex dive medicine, it's surviving pool comp, where instructors literally attack you underwater to see if you'll panic. And get this, you even have to evade dolphins that the Navy is trained to hunt down enemy divers. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Passing training, believe it or not, is just the beginning. So what's it actually like to be an operator out in the field? This next part is all about the unique culture and the high-stakes reality of the job itself.
This quote right here, this gets to the absolute soul of the SEAL teams. That bond is everything. These are the guys you eat with, sleep next to, party with, and grieve with. They become your real family, the only support system that can truly understand the world you're living in.
And yeah, the arsenal is extensive. SEALs train with everything you can imagine, from M4s to rocket launchers. But Sean is emphatic that the single most important piece of gear, the biggest gun on the team as he puts it, is the radio. Why? Because that's what calls in an A-10 Warthog or an Apache gunship.
Okay, so this brings us to what he calls the single hairiest mission of his career. He was on a sniper Overwatch team, just outside a black town in Iraq, a place so bad that no other US forces were allowed to enter it, drive through it, or even fly over it. And his team? They had the most dangerous position of all, the one closest to town.
Just 10 minutes after their position was compromised by a local, all hell broke loose. All he could hear was this storm of unending, loud, unsuppressed gunfire. Now his team was using suppressors, so that loud noise could only mean one thing. The enemy was overrunning and wiping out his friends. His calls on the radio were met with silence. In that moment, he was absolutely certain his entire team was dead.
So, imagine this. He and the 2 other guys with him get back to back, ready to make their last stand, as he just desperately pleads into the radio, just begging for any sign of life.
And then, after what must have felt like an eternity, a voice crackles through the radio. Holy shit, we just killed the fuck out of those guys. It turns out the loud gunfire wasn't from the enemy. It was from the Army soldiers the SEALs were training, firing their unsuppressed weapons. The team was totally fine. The sense of relief must have been unbelievable.
But the battlefield, that's really only one part of the story, isn't it? There's also the personal price this job demands, the unseen costs that stack up, far away from any combat zone.
A SEAL's life is really split between these 2 completely disconnected realities. On deployment, a day off is structured. You get a good workout in, maybe play some Xbox. But back home, that structure completely vanishes. It's replaced by this intense, work hard, play hard culture.
happy hours, bar fights, and trying to merge those two worlds is next to impossible.
And that destructive cycle is exactly why Sean ultimately left the teams. It wasn't the danger of combat. It was seeing what 20 years in this life did to the men he respected most. Their bodies were breaking down, their marriages were failing, their kids are growing up basically not knowing them. He saw how the platoon becomes the real family and the one waiting at home becomes secondary. He just didn't want that for his own future.
And this leads us to the final and maybe the most difficult part of this whole journey, the fight that starts after the war is over. The battle for yourself, right here, back home.
The root of this battle back home is actually chemical. Think about it. Your brain and your body have been hardwired by years and years of constant fight or flight responses. When you leave that high-octane environment, your brain still craves that chemical hit of adrenaline. It literally becomes an addiction. And civilian life just doesn't offer a healthy way to get that fix.
So to cope with that transition, Sean fell into a really deep, dark cycle of substance abuse. I mean, this quote right here shows just how bad it got. He was self-medicating on a massive scale, just trying to numb everything to get through the day.
And he was chasing that adrenaline addiction in other ways too. He moved to Colombia and would intentionally seek out danger, going into the worst neighborhoods he could find just to buy drugs. The act of seeking out that risk became just as much a part of the addiction as the substance itself.
Traditional methods just weren't cutting it for him, so his path to recovery was, well, really unconventional. He found his way back through psychedelic-assisted therapy. Ibogaine let him see his entire life from a third-person view, and 5-MeO-DMT gave him what he calls an ego death, this profound experience where he felt connected to everything. The result was nothing short of transformative. He came back, quit drinking cold turkey, got off all his meds, and was truly present with his family again.
He took his own incredible struggle and turned it into a new mission. He started The Sean Ryan Show to give veterans a platform to tell their stories, completely unfiltered. Part of it is about documenting history from the people who actually lived it, but maybe more importantly, it's about showing other guys who are struggling that it is not impossible to find your way back. It's about giving them hope.
And this really brings us to our final thought. Sean's journey forces us to stop and really reconsider what strength even means. Is it surviving Hell Week? Is it winning a firefight? Or is it having the courage to confront your own demons and build a new life from the ashes? His story suggests that maybe that last battle is the hardest and the most important one you'll ever fight.